it's Leslie in Tennessee, and today we want to talk about curing sweet potatoes. Now, perhaps you've caught some of my other YouTubes about sweet potatoes. We've got one on how to start your own slips, how to make the raised bed to grow the sweet potatoes in, and then how to harvest the sweet potatoes. But today we're going to talk about how to cure the sweet potatoes, and that is equally as important as all the other steps because the curing process is what makes your sweet potatoes sweet. It also helps to toughen up the skin to kind of protect the sweet potatoes. So what I have behind me here today is my growing rack. I use this growing rack to start my seedlings. At other times of the year, I have a grow light that I keep on here during that time. And I can put all my flats of seedlings under here, and it works quite well. But we're not in time to start my seeds, and so we're going to use this for our sweet potato curing rack. Now, you may not have enough sweet potatoes that you need a rack quite this size, but we had about 200 pounds of sweet potatoes, and so we really needed every inch of this rack. As a matter of fact, I didn't quite have enough room, so we used one of these trays that's used for carrying flats in to make some extra shelving. So with some string, we just suspended these trays here. We secured it or hung it from the four corners from the shelf on top of it. And so we were able to have sweet potatoes, and sweet potatoes. And that worked quite well for giving us some extra space. We used quite a few of those on that. So on the rack, you take your sweet potatoes and you lay them in a single layer all over the rack. Don't double them up, but if you had that suspended shelf in the middle, that would be just fine. So cover your shelves with your one layer of sweet potatoes. And then I like to hang a thermometer from the rack. I like to hang it about the middle of the rack, just so we can get a general idea. We want it at about 80 to 85 degrees within the curing area. Another important point is humidity. You do want some moderate humidity inside of your curing area. And so I use just a regular bowl. I fill it half full with water and just check on it periodically. And then to get the temperature up, I use some heating mats. I just used a regular heating pad. And then I have a seedlings heat mat that I also put in. Put this on the bottom. I did put down a mat underneath here. I mean, you could use like a rubber welcome mat or something like that just to protect your floor. And then I put the bowl of water on one of the heating pads. And inside the house was about 75 degrees, and with these two in here, I was able to keep it at 80 to 85 degrees inside the curing area. So we have our water, we have our heat source, we have our thermometer. The sweet potatoes are laid all over the rack in a single layer. And now we're going to go ahead and cover the rack. Now I'm getting ready to cover my growing tunnel outside, and so I cut my plastic to the length that I need for my tunnel outside. So it's a little long for this rack, but you'll get the basic idea. So I have my greenhouse plastic here. You could use a tarp or anything, even if you bought a couple of shower curtains, that might work, plastic shower curtains. And I'm just going to put it up over the rack. And you want it to go all the way to the floor. Now this is a 10-foot wide, but I'm leaving it folded in half because I don't need to open it for this demo. Spread this out. Just like that. And then you can use snack bag clips, whatever you have like that. Or you can just use regular household clothespins, or whatever you have to close up the sides. So I'm just going to fold down that top and then come over here and wrap it like a package and just secure it. We might put in 4 or 5 clips all the way down, and then come over on the other side and do the same thing. So you have your sweet potatoes inside and you have your package all wrapped up with your sweet potatoes in there. You want to leave them in here for about 10 to 12 days. And then after that, the skins on the sweet potatoes should be nice and firm. And then just wrap them up in newsprint. This is just package wrapping paper that I picked up at Walmart. And then I cut it into squares. Just wrap your sweet potatoes in there and then just store them in boxes in a place that's relatively cool. You don't want cold, but you don't want the sweet potatoes to start sprouting on you too early either. So wrapping them helps that, and then keeping them in a cooler temperature place. And that's about it. It worked fantastic. Our sweet potatoes were wonderful. Last year, we tried curing our sweet potatoes in the greenhouse, and it was about October. The nights were getting cold, and it was real work to try to keep the temperature up on the sweet potatoes. It worked okay, but this worked really well. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments and I'll try to get back to you. And if you like the video, please hit like. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. And I hope this will be a blessing to you. Remember, you were created to live in the garden.